God of War Ragnarok's Odin mythology. Odin in Norse mythology. Odin is a prominent figure in Norse mythology where he is associated with wisdom, poetry, battles, and victory. He is generally seen as a benevolent and extremely wise figure, with some versions of mythology positioning him as a consort of Frigg and the father of several gods, including Thor and Baldur. Most depictions of Odin feature an old, sage-looking man with a sizable beard and an eye missing. Sometimes, he is shown riding his eight-legged horse named Steidnir. Odin appears to be omniscient in part thanks to his ravens, Hugin and Munnin, that soar all over Midgard, spying and collecting information for their master. He has an obsession with knowledge, and he desires to know as much about everything as possible. Upon noticing that the wise man Mimir drank from the well-known as Mimir's Odin desired to drink from it, so he could gain wisdom. However, Mimir informed him that he would have to sacrifice his eye, which Odin was more than happy to do. Some versions of mythology claim that Mimir was beheaded in war, and Odin preserved the head and kept it around for consultation. According to mythology, Odin dwells in Valhalla, where warriors who die in battle go. Consequently, Odin has been depicted as a savior of soldiers and a protector of heroes. He plays a fairly prominent role during the apocalyptic events of Ragnarok. Mythology claims that he is warned of the incoming dangers by Mimir, triggering him to make preparations. He gathers an army of warriors, though it is not enough to save him, and he eventually perishes in the jaws of the giant wolf Fenrir, who is the son of the trickster god Loki. His death is avenged by his son, Vidar, who kills the great wolf. With Odin playing such a large role in Norse mythology, it is no surprise that he is a significant figure in God of War's Norse saga. However, as the studio usually does, Santa Monica has taken liberties with the source material to tell a fresh story with twists that will be unexpected to even the biggest mythology nerd. Though the Odin of God of War bears resemblance to his mythological counterpart, he deviates in so many ways that it is impossible to predict what developers will do with his character. God of War Ragnarok will be the game where players finally see Odin, an ominous figure that has been looming in the background for a while. Though he, like many of the gods on show, is taken from Norse mythology, Santa Monica has taken creative liberty and crafted its own version of the god that is quite different from anything prior. Instead of being a protector of warriors, he appears to be quite a sinister figure who is excessively paranoid and fond of torture. The trailers for God of War Ragnarok have shown various other mythological characters that will make an appearance in the upcoming game, including Fenrir the giant wolf. Though fans may recognize these figures, it is near impossible to predict what will happen, as Kratos and Atreus seem determined to defy fate and tell their own story. It will not be an easy journey, and the duo will be up against figures like Freya, Thor, and Tyr, which should see the heroes tested to their limits. Odin in God of War Ragnarok. In God of War, Odin is the father of Thor and Baldur, along with several other gods, and his ex-wife is Freya. He is a figure that is obsessed with knowledge, which is something he shares with his mythological counterpart. However, this obsession is painted in a sinister light in Santa Monica's franchise. In 2018's God of War, some ravens survey the lands collecting information for Odin, but it seems knowledge only makes him more paranoid. Mimir witnesses this firsthand, as Odin's advisor. Though he is tortured regularly, Mimir attempts to advise Odin against war and unnecessary battles. Unfortunately, the arrogant god seldom listens. Eventually, Odin's paranoia has him setting his sights on Kratos and Atreus, who he believes will bring about Ragnarok. Hence, he sends his son Baldur to defeat Kratos, though he fails, leaving Thor with the task of finishing the job in God of War Ragnarok. Unlike his mythological version, God of War's Odin does not appear to be a protector of heroes, and he instead seems to be a killer of heroes. Arguably, his intentions do have some degree of nobility in them, as he wishes to prevent apocalyptic events from destroying the Nine Realms. However, it also appears that he is primarily concerned with his protection and ensuring that his power isn't threatened. Although it seems almost certain that Odin is an antagonistic figure, gamers shouldn't be so quick to make assumptions about the character, as Santa Monica is quite fond of the bait-and-switch tactic, and it is entirely possible that the god could end up having sympathetic traits as players learn more about him. According to mythology, Odin meets his demise through Fenrir, and players have already seen the big wolf beside Atreus in trailers. It may be tempting to conclude that Odin will be swiftly dealt with and that the heroes have nothing to worry about, but developers have demonstrated that they aren't interested in sticking too strictly to mythology with God of War Ragnarok. Hence, there may be plenty of bombshell moments awaiting gamers.